Mysterious Arctic zombie fires might not be old flames after all. And this is a picture of Alaska, but we know we have Arctic fires in Siberia as well as Alaska. So this is taking place in the north. The so-called zombie fires in the peatlands of Alaska, Canada, and Siberia disappeared from the Earth's surface and smolder underground during the winter before coming back to life the following spring. Can you imagine? These fires puzzle scientists because they appear in early May, way ahead of the usual fire season in the far north, and can reignite for a number of years. Most scientists believe that zombie fires are the remnants of fires on the surface, but we have identified an alternative cause. Our research suggests that rapid atmospheric warming above ground can cause peat soils to suddenly heat up to smoldering temperatures underground, all without any spark or other ignition. These zombie fires may be a case of climate change driven spontaneous combustion. Did you know that grain silos have to be cooled? Otherwise, the grain also heats up and can catch fire. Yes, grain silos have to be cooled down for that reason. Now, reports of such fires date back to the 1940s when they were rare events. However, the frequency and intensity of these fires has increased significantly in the past 2 decades. Hand in hand with accelerated warming in the Arctic, the fastest warming region on the planet. At the start of 2024, more than 100 zombie fires were active in the Canadian province of British Columbia alone. Zombie fires have even been recorded near the coldest village on Earth, Oymyakon, the northeastern Siberia area, where they carried over through multiple winters and account for around 3.5% of the area burned in the wider region every year. More carbon is trapped in temperature-sensitive Arctic peat soils than is found in the entire atmosphere, and these fires are releasing gigatons of carbon into the atmosphere. We wanted to know if sudden warming might be directly responsible. 2 remarkable results found. We developed a mathematical model to explore different what-if scenarios, including how the temperature and carbon content of peat soils respond to changes in the weather and climate. Crucially, our model captures how certain microbes generate heat while breaking down soil and releasing its carbon into the atmosphere. We obtained 2 remarkable results. The first is that those microbes can generate so much heat that underground peat can smolder at around 80 degrees Celsius over the winter, ready to ignite in spring. And this can happen without there ever having been a fire in that spot above ground, and without the weather above ground reaching the sorts of temperatures that would normally be needed for soil to burn. We call this new state the hot metastable status of peat soils. In this context, metastable means long burn. The hot state lasts for a long but finite time, up to 10 years, until the peat burns off. Our other key findings, they said, is that a sudden transition from the regular cold state to the hot metastable state can be triggered by realistic climate pattern alone, including summer heat waves and global warming scenarios. Most interestingly, the increase in the atmospheric temperature has to be faster than some critical rate to trigger the transition. If the atmospheric temperature increases by the same amount, but at a slower rate, bioactive peat soil remains in the regular cold state and never transitions to the hot metastable state. We still do not have proof that this is happening in the real world, and it has not been demonstrated in the lab, but for now this is a phenomenon seen only in our models. But we do know that compost, very similar to peat, can catch fire in the same way. There you go. For instance, a large fire on the outskirts of London during the heat wave of 2022 was probably caused by a pile of compost spontaneously combusting. There you go. All this suggests that atmospheric temperature is not actually the key critical factor for zombie fires. Rather, it is the rate of atmospheric warming that triggers long burns of underground peat. Put simply, it is not the heat, it is the rate. How to fight the zombies? As the climate warms, the weather is becoming more extreme, and these are precisely the conditions that can lead to more and more zombie fires. This is concerning as it could kick off a vicious cycle, gigatons of carbon released from the ancient peat soils into the atmosphere are likely to make the climatic changes even worse, which means more fires, so more extreme weather, and so on. Indeed, zombie fires are an example of a rate-induced tipping point where a system fails to adapt to the too fast changes in external conditions and transitions from its regular state to a different, often undesired state. It's possible that the contemporary climate is approaching or has already exceeded dangerous rates of change for certain natural systems, such as bioactive peat soils, which could explain the recent increase in zombie fires. Okay, so the peat soil as well. It appears that the only solution to prevent further zombie fires is to limit climate variability, while policymakers focus on dangerous levels of atmospheric temperature, the heat, the climate variability, the rate of change, could be equally or even more relative to our resilience in the short term. This is from the conversation here under Creative Commons by Sebastian Wizarek, Professor, Chair, Head of Applied Mathematics, University College Cork, and Ian O'Sullivan, PhD candidate, Applied Mathematics, University College Cork, and Kieran Mulcrone, Senior Lecturer, School of Mathematical Sciences, University College of Cork. I guess that's in Ireland. And this is on Science Alert. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.